Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a pleasant summer evening. We've got the great pleasure of having Micah back with us. He and I were just discussing. It's been quite a while since he's been on with us, but he's always got some very interesting and good strategies, especially in the option area. So with that, Micah, welcome back to the Candlestick Forum. We're anxious to see your information tonight.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the introduction and really happy to be back. We were just chatting. I think it's been a number of years since we've been here. So thank you so much and really happy to be here. Today we're going to be talking about my $1 million strategy, and it's going to be a case study on a strategy that I invented called the Payday Cycle strategy. And I've got my chat room open. I love really interactive webinars. I'm going to move myself a little closer to the mic. Hopefully that helps for you. And so if you have any questions along the way, feel free to just type them right in and I will do my best to answer them. I'm broadcasting live here from Santa Barbara, California, where our office is, and it's a beautiful 75 degrees out. Love it. Would love to see where everybody here is checking in from. I know we oftentimes get people coming in from all around the place, so excited for that. And let's go ahead and get this party started. Okay, so why do we call it the $1 million strategy? I recently got a note from one of our members at Wall Street AO, and he reached out and was like, hey, Micah, I recently turned $250,000 into $1.5 million using this strategy. And the cool part about it was he did that in only 2 years, and he only traded about twice a month or 6 times a quarter with a very basic understanding of options. So we like to call it the $1 million strategy, and that's what you're going to learn today. So at the foundation is a very successful buy and sell signal. It's very successful and it's very simple. And so as we get started here, let me just do a little sound check. Can everybody kind of let me know how's the sound for you? I moved myself a little closer to the mic, so hopefully sound is coming in nice and clear. Good, good, good. Ram, John, Gary, what's up? Got you here. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Great. So again, it's a buy and sell signal I named the Payday Cycle. And so why do we call it the Payday Cycle? Well, a lot of people who work 9 to 5 generally will get paid every 2 weeks. This strategy generally happens about twice a month, so it can be in tune with a natural payday for you. All right, so here's how it works. Jumping right into it, in its simplest form, we're going to be using a daily Heikin-Ashi chart. And what I like to do is I simply like to buy on the close of the first green Heikin-Ashi on the daily and sell on the close of the first red one. Now, how many people here have heard of Heikin-Ashi before or have used it? Go ahead and give me a little woot woot in the chat room if you ever used the Heikin-Ashi before. So I'll be using it on a daily chart, and I'll give you lots of great examples today of how we use it and how I've even added some really cool things to it to kind of tweak it and improve it, which I think you're going to like today. Okay, so again, in its simplest form, my strategy, the Payday Cycle strategy, buy on the close of the first green, sell on the close of the first red. Now, normally these trades last about 7 or 8 days on average. From time to time, we'll get some really good cycles that last 10 to 13 days. I'll give you some examples of those as well. All right, so we got Les here. We got Lee here. Never heard of it, never used it, but we got a lot of other people, Gary, Kaz, Bob. A lot of people saying they have used it before, which is cool. All right, well, if you have used it or if you haven't used it, either way, I've got some really great things to show you tonight. Okay, so here's a chart of the Qs and using a regular candlestick chart. Here's a chart of the Qs using the Heikin-Ashi chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go back and forth a few times. And what I'd love to see in the chat room is some of your thoughts on what are the key differences between these two types of charts. Now, when I'm trading during the day, I like to use both the candlestick charts and the Heikin-Ashi charts. And in all fairness, a Heikin-Ashi chart is actually a candlestick chart as well. So I love candlestick charts, and a Heikin-Ashi chart is simply an aggregate chart. So go ahead and let me know in the chat room, what are some of the key differences that you see between these two charts? Let's see what we got. I'll give everybody a few seconds here. Okay. We got our candlestick chart and we got our Heikin-Ashi chart. Heikin-Ashi candlestick, right? Candlestick, Heikin-Ashi. Let's see. All right, there's no gaps, right? You got it, Nick. It's a little simpler to read, Paul says. It smooths it out, shows the trend better. Nice, FT. No wicks, that's right. Wicks on one side only, that's right. So when a stock is actually trending, the Heiken Ashi is going to show a wick toward the trending side. So when it's bullish, the wick will actually be on top. And when it's bearish, right, the wick will actually be on the bottom. Okay. All right, so we're all on the same page here. It really smooths it out. In many cases, can make it simpler to read. So sometimes the candlestick can be a little choppier, harder to read, the cycles, and that can make it harder to trade from. The Heiken Ashi chart, especially if you're just learning to trade, it can be smoother, easier to read, very, very clear cycles. These two time snaps, by the way, are the exact same time frame using Apple. Okay. Now, again, in its simplest form, all I'm simply doing is buying on the close of the first green and selling on the close of the first red. What I love about this is when it's bullish, the Heiken Ashi is green. When it's bearish, it's red. It's a very, very clear, clean signal. All right. So here's some really cool results that I like to show. And this is just using the Payday Cycle on the Qs, which is another really great vehicle to trade the Payday Cycle on. Now, one of the main reasons I think if you're ever going to use an active trading strategy, which is a strategy that gets you in and out rather than just a buy and hold, is to help smooth out your profitability curve. And so what that means to me is on years where maybe the stock or ETF is flat or maybe even down, you could still actually make money on those years. Here's an example of buy and hold on the Qs, and you can see over the last 10 or 11 years, it had done really well. However, in 2018, you actually would have lost money buy and hold the Qs. Now, had you used a simple strategy, which is simply to buy on the close of the first green, sell on the close of the first red on the daily, you actually would have made over 19% that year in 2018. So this difference is a lot. Now, the difference in 2018 isn't just the 20% difference, but now you have more money to roll into 2019, et cetera, et cetera. So again, one of the main reasons I think to use an active trading strategy is to help smooth out that profitability curve, give yourself some profits on years that maybe a buy and hold would have not made you that much money or potentially lost you money. So some highlights really quickly from the Qs. We recently had 8 winners in a row. And with the Qs, again, it generally lasts about 7 days on average. So whenever I'm showing you this information, by the way, whether it's a certain amount of winners in a row, a batting average, risk reward, or how long the strategy will last, I'm pulling it all from a back testing engine. So it's all validated results. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about that here in a minute. Okay. Let's see. When the sell starts, the chart sell looks 1 or 2. Yeah, we're just selling on the first red one, trying to keep it easy and simple there for you. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So I'm actually going to do a really cool screen share for you here. And I'm going to bring up my charts here so you can kind of see some live charts. All right. Everybody at this point should see my charts here on Wall Street IO. This is the website that we built for our community. And for the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a little charting example of this strategy. And while I'm doing this, by the way, I can't see the chat room. So if you have questions, type them in while I'm presenting for the next few minutes, going through the strategy. I'm going to show you some really cool little tricks on using this Payday Cycle strategy. And then once I come back to the webinar platform, I'll be able to answer all the questions. Is that cool? All right, so what we're looking at right now is Apple stock, and as you can see, today we had a really, really nice little breakout day, and we've been trending really well. And when we look at the Heiken Ashi chart, you can see today was day 1 of potentially a new cycle. Now, when I come down here to the backtest tab in Wall Street AO, I could actually backtest this strategy, which is simply by clicking on backtest and clicking on Heiken Ashi. And what that allows me to do is view the results of how well this strategy has performed over time. And again, in its simplest form, all I'm testing is buy on the close of the first green and sell on the close of the first red. Okay. Now, over the last 3 years, the risk reward in the strategy has been really, really good at 1.9. This means that your wins are just about twice as much as your losses. However, the batting average at 43% leaves a lot to be desired. Now, normally the batting average hovers right around 50%, but with a little bit of chop here, the batting average has dropped below 50%. Now, one of the interesting things is even with that batting average, the strategy is actually still profitable. And the reason for that is because the wins are twice as big as the losses. With this strategy, you're going to get about 33 trades a year. And you can see the average gain is just about 4%, but the average loss is negative 2%. So again, that helps us generate that good risk reward. And this strategy generally lasts about 8 days on average. So all these stats right here are pulled directly from the backtesting engine. All right. Now, one of the things that I have discovered over the last decade, actually more, of trading this strategy is there's a few things that I can do to help me eliminate what I call a false start. Now, I'm sure you all can guess what a false start is. A false start for me is anytime we have a nice little pullback, we get our first green bar, but instead of showing follow through to the upside, it just drops back down. So I would consider that to be a false start. Ends up as a losing trade. Okay, so we had a couple other false starts here. Okay, a couple actually here. I'm just going to highlight a few of them for you. Let's get some more charting real estate for us. Okay, oh, that was a really big false start there. Definitely thought that was, a lot of people thought that was going to break up. I had another false start here. So I'm guessing all of you at this point kind of understand what I mean when I say false start. There was another one there. Let's kind of just zoom out. I'm sure I can highlight here for you. Another couple of them there. All right, so we had a few more in there. False starts. Okay. Now, one of the things that I discovered around trading Apple is if I can eliminate these false starts out of my trading plan before I actually make the trade, the results of that will have more profitability for me, less emotional stress, my batting average will go up, my risk reward will go up, and overall just my general profitability will go up. So one of the things I like to do in order to do that is this idea called probability stacking. Probability stacking is when we stack more than one indicator or signal on top of each other. And in doing so, we increase the overall probability of the trade. So in Wall Street IO here, in the backtest tab, I could actually do probability stacking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the MACD. Now the MACD is a pretty simple indicator. Many of you have probably heard of it. I'm going to add it to my chart here as well. Right there. All right. MACD is a pretty simple indicator. It's moving average, convergence, divergence. And I know that's a mouthful, but just think of it as a really good indicator to help you see not only direction, but momentum. And so one of the things that we discovered in running literally millions of tests and me trading thousands of Apple contracts is this. When the MACD is crossed the bulls and trending up, the bullish payday cycles tend to be a little bit longer. Okay. And when the MACD is trending down and crossed to the bears, we are more likely at that time to get a false start. And so let me just kind of show you what I mean by that. See these false starts I highlighted here? A lot of them occurred when we had a bearish MACD. So let's go back and take a look. You can see false starts, right? You can see they kind of line up, right? False starts in here, very bearish MACD actually during that time, okay? And if you hadn't already noticed, when I added the MACD, look what it did to our trade results over here, okay? More false starts, more false starts. All right. So again, here's what happened when we added the MACD. Our risk reward went from 1.9 to 2.4, which means our wins are now about 2.5 times as large as our losses, which is good. Our batting average skyrocketed up to 60%. And what's really cool, and one of my favorite parts about this, is if you look at these green bars here, these green bars show you the profitability or potentially loss each year for the last 11 years. So this strategy has actually been profitable for 11 years in a row. Okay, and I think that says a lot, especially considering Apple has officially had about 5 or 6 crashes in the last 10 years. Classically defined, a crash is anything over 20%. Now, even in those years, this strategy actually still produced profits, which is pretty cool. Okay, so with this strategy, one of the things I like to do is simply buy on the first green, sell on the first red. But now I'm only doing it when the MACD is actually confirming. Okay, and again, by doing that, I'm eliminating these times that I have a false start. Now, also notice that the trades per year went from 33 trades per year down to 12. So we're not taking as many trades, but the trades we are taking are going to be more profitable, and we're going to have an overall higher batting average, more predictable. I think you're going to make a lot more money, and overall, you're going to be a lot happier, less emotional stress, all of that stuff. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick that I figured out along the way as well. Since Apple does have some nice long cycles, we want to catch those cycles. Here's a cool little trick I'm going to show you right now. Now, normally, your default MACD is a 12.26.9. Now, check this out. I'm going to slow this down and use a 20.26.9. Okay, and I want you to see how fast these results get updated in our backtesting platform here. Okay, by slowing down the MACD, look what I just did to our results. It's incredible. We now have a 2.9 risk reward, a 68% batting average, right? So what that means is Our wins are now about 3 times larger than our losses. Let's look at how that stacks up. Our wins are 3.7% and our losses are only negative 1.27%. Our biggest win being over 11% and our largest loss being literally negative 2.6, right? So this ratio here is incredible. And again, profitable for 11 years in a row. This is actually our $1 million strategy here. This is the strategy that gentleman Bob used to turn $250,000 into $1.5 million in under 2 years. And here's how he did it. He didn't trade stock, he traded options. Okay, so many of you might be wondering, okay, how do these results stack up? Well, these results right now are for stock. What they show you is how well you would have done, how much money you would have made if you just bought and sold one share. Okay, so you would have made about 30%. That's pretty good in a year, trading just one share of stock. And the cool part is about this strategy, by the way, is it's 13 trades a year. Each trade, let's see, only lasts about 8 days for a win. And that means that you have your capital to potentially use on other strategies if you want. You're not kind of stuck into one thing for a long time. Now, for a lot of you option traders, you might be wondering, well, what would have happened if I would have taken this trade, right? Instead of using stock, what would have happened if I would have used calls? And if you're an advanced trader, you could probably be in the inquiry of, well, how would it have worked out if I would have traded maybe out of the money calls versus in the money, or 30 days out versus 90 days out, or maybe even more advanced question would be, what would have happened if I would have sold puts to fund my calls? So what we did is we actually reached out to the CBOE, Chicago Board of Options Exchange, and we got a special license from them to license their data, and we imported literally billions of pieces of options data. And in the same way that we built the world's fastest strategy backtester here, you saw it backtested in under a second, we're now excited to announce we've now built the world's fastest options backtester in the same beautiful drag and drop format. So I'm just going to click on the single. It's going to pre-populate a default here, right? Buy contract, 30 days out, 1 strike out of the money. Now I can change this, right? I can change it to 2 strikes out of the money, right? And you can see in just a couple seconds, it updates the result for me. It's so fast. I could also change this from, instead of 30 days, maybe 90 days, and you can see how it impacts the results. By going a little farther out in time, actually increases your batting average, okay? And just in the same way we use probability stacking, check this out. I'm going to short a put, and so I'm using a put to essentially fund my call option. And again, you can see how that impacts, increased our batting average, but then lowered our risk reward. Okay, so you can get a little advanced there. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do is I like to buy call options a couple strikes out of the money and about 30 days out. A good rule of thumb for me is if this strategy generally lasts about 8 days on average, a good rule of thumb would be to triple or quadruple the average length. Okay, so these are the results. Now, I actually have a strategy that has recently started, and it has over a 90% batting average. And I'm just kind of wanting to take a poll here. I'm sure a lot of you would want to see it, but give me a quick note in the chat room. I'll go back to the chat room in a minute, but let me know if you want to see the 90% batting average Apple strategy. Show it to you here in just a second. I'm sure everybody's like, yes, please, yes, please. And here's what happened is along the way, me and my engineering team realized that we had some really cool and smart people joining our community for backtesting. You know, former Goldman Sachs employees, a lot of former floor traders, former quants, and they're coming up with some incredible strategies. And so what we did is we made our backtesting platform in this really unique way so that anytime one of our members, including myself, backtested a strategy, we pushed it through a 10-factor rating system. And then we made the best strategies that were discovered by our members available to everybody in our group via a Discover tab. So what Discover gives you is it gives you the #1 strategies that were discovered by our members for any stock that you look up or a watch list of stocks. So what ended up happening is I shared my gray strategy that I just shared with you because I'm totally open up with it, right? I shared it with the whole group at Wall Street AM. And some of our really smart community members actually took that strategy and made some improvements to it, made some tweaks to it, and those improvements pulled up into the Discover feature and are now made available to everybody. Okay, so let me actually show you what that looks like. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So this strategy here, I'm showing you right now, you'll see the stats for in a moment, has a 94% batting average and happens about 11 times a year. And you can see it's been very, very profitable. In fact, it's outperforming the stock by a lot, averages about 57% by itself. Now, what's cool about this strategy is it uses the same cornerstone that I showed you today, buying on the first green Heikin-Ashi. But instead of using a MACD, it uses the 24-day moving average. Okay, it also has some really cool extra things like some custom exits regarding when to take profits, profit targets, and trade length. So what's cool about this is you can see I've followed this strategy. All of our strategies are followable, which means when you follow it, you get a notification for when it starts and when it ends. So what a lot of our members actually do is they simply go to the Discover tool and they find great strategies and they follow them and they build up a portfolio of strategies that they're following and they get a notification digest every single day that tells them when their strategies are starting and ending. Now, a lot of our other members share strategies throughout the day inside of the community. Let me actually show you one that I just recently shared. Here's Byron, always got some good strategies. This guy just pulled up a 100% batting average shop strategy. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through our social network. Here's a really cool, another one. It's a little, for everybody who wants like the 8-day strategy, I just gave it to you. It's the Payday Cycle MACD with a 26.9 MACD. But I also have one that's a little bit longer that gets you into trades for about 20 days. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So one of the things that you should kind of be aware of here as I'm demonstrating is the whole idea of Wall Street AO is really to help people understand trading, become better at trading, make more money trading. But everybody's really open to sharing strategies and helping people out, which is pretty cool. This strategy actually has an 83% batting average over the last 3 years. It's got a 3.2 risk reward, and it's also, by the way, been profitable for 11 years in a row. Now, here's some differences, though. Okay, its average gain is 8%, which is crazy. And part of the reason it can do that is because the win length instead of 8 days is 19 days. All right, so the wins are really, really long. I just turned on some chart shading, which shows you the wins and then also the occasional loss. Notice that the wins are quite extensive. They move for a long time, a lot more than the 8 days. And all I did, I'll just go ahead and give it to you here and give away my secrets. All we did is we simply added the MACD again to our sell condition. And by doing that, we elongated the amount of days that we're in the trade to catch these really nice cycles. So what we've discovered again is this combination of this payday cycle strategy along with one or two other indicators has just had phenomenal results for us. And we've continued to pay to trade them. It's paid us huge dividends. It's continued to work for us just beautifully here on Apple. It's a strategy that we've literally refined over millions of tests. And I'm really excited to share it with you today. And like I said, I'm fully transparent. I mean, they gave you the exact rules of the strategy. You could use it. You could check it out. I'm going to show you how to sign up for Wall Street AO here a little bit later and answer questions if you want to come check it out as well. Get our backtesting tools and follow the strategy so that you can get notified when they start and end and everything like that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pop back over to this. I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen sharing function off, but let's go ahead and go to the slide. Let's see what we got here. All right, so I'm back on the slides, and I'm just going to take some questions. All right, let's see. FT says, what's your last name, Mike? It's Micah Lamar, and the name of my company is wallstreet.io. Do you sell on the close of the red candle? That's correct, Ray. You got it. I hear cycle. Heikin-Ashi is a cycle indicator. Got it. Up days in a downtrend. Yeah, so that's what the MACD is really good for. What was the MACD configuration you did? Okay, so the default MACD works just fine. It's 12.26.9, but the 20.26.9 is going to work better for Apple. Remember, this is an Apple strategy. FT says, do you like 2 strikes out of the money? So here's the way I like to think about picking my strike prices. Okay, I like to pick strike prices that are slightly out of the money, that if I get the move I'm expecting, they'll be in the money by the time I sell, right? So if I know in advance, like in that last strategy, it's got an 8% average move, and I go 2% out of the money with my strike price, and it moves 8%. Well, then my strike price should be 6% in the money by the time I close it. And that way you're going to get the greatest ramp up and acceleration of profit, okay? But options can be, you got to learn options. There's a lot to know with options, right? A couple of strike prices, yeah, a couple is 2, right? But sometimes they'll go up a little bit more. Yes, 90%. Okay, cool. Steve asks, does each stock have its own moving average for longer term trends? The way I like to think of it is each stock really trades so differently. Apple trades differently than Google, trades differently than the SPY, trades differently than Netflix. And so I personally like to have a strategy for each stock. Okay. To use a range with the ticks or just Heiken Ashi candles, just the Heiken Ashi candles. Okay, exactly. Yeah, I just like to use Heiken Ashi candles. I also like to use regular candles during the day just to kind of see some reversals, things like that as well. All right, do you trade the Qs? Love trading the Qs. Some of the earlier examples I showed you were the Qs. I actually have some cool examples here for you we could take a look at as well. So here's an Apple example, and you can see in 14 days from this point right here. Can everybody see my my cursor, my mouse as I'm moving along the screen? Okay. VG says, still kind of learning options. Can you give an example of what 2 strikes or 3 strikes for Apple say? Okay, so good question. If Apple's trading at 147 and the strike prices are every dollar, then the 148 is 1 strike out of the money, 149 is 2 strikes out of the money, and 150 is 3 strikes out of the money. Okay, that should be clear. Okay, so here's a few examples for you. You can see that we had our strategy fire right here on this day. You can see it's kind of highlighted with a green arrow. I'm hoping everybody can see my mouse kind of move around here. And this move was 14 days long, a few days past the average. The stock moved up 11%, right? Had you used my call option strategy, which I just gave you, which was about 30 days out and 2 strikes out of the money, the trade would have made 124%, okay? All right. Let's look at a few more. Question. Apple's easy to trade. I think so too. Which charting programs support Heiken Ashi candles? You're going to want to use wallstreet.io for that. No mouse move. Okay, no worries. Do you have a member service sending stock picks? Wally, the way that works is you simply follow a strategy in one click. We send you a daily digest of the strategies that you followed that tells you when those strategies are starting and ending that you can use to buy and sell. Okay? It's pretty simple. All right, let's look at some more examples. All right, here we go again. First Heiken Ashi triggered here. These ones probably wouldn't have triggered because the MACD was likely bearish, but we got a trigger here. That means that the momentum was looking good. In the trade for 9 days, had you traded stock, 8.3%, I'm sorry, 8.35%, 9 days is pretty good. If you traded call options 30 days out, 2 strikes out of the money, you would have made 163% in only 9 days, okay? Let's look at some more examples. All right, here's another one, okay? Beautiful cycle here. It lasted 13 days. Stock went up 8.61%. Had you used the call options again, 2 strikes out of the money, 30 days out, we're using the same formula. A lot of trading, when you get in the groove, you really should be rinse and repeating. These call options went up 253%, okay? All right, now here's something you should know about me is I'm really into transparency, which is why I built Wall Street AO. It's all about backtesting and validation. Like I truly believe that when you load up an indicator on the chart, on Thinkorswim and all these platforms, it's unfortunate they don't tell you if the indicator works. And that's a big problem for me. I think if you're going to use RSI, stochastics, moving average cross, you got to know if it works and if it works on the time frame you're testing and if it works on the stock you're using it on. So we're all about transparency. So I'm going to show you a loss, okay? So this is part of the whole risk reward scenario and part of the batting average. I didn't say it was 100% batting average. I think we're at about 60, 68%. Now, a lot of the wins are 100% or greater. The losses usually are contained with about 20% losses for the calls. And as you noted, the stock, if it doesn't work out, moves down about 1 to 2%. A lot of times less than 2%. The other cool part is it'll happen really fast generally. So a win is generally 8 to 10 days. A loss is generally 1 or 2 days because it stops you out so fast. And that's why we're able to keep our losses contained. So if you bought this one here on the first green bar, you can see where I highlighted with the arrow. In one day, the stock went down 1.23%. You would have lost that if you bought the stock. If you would have bought call options in one day, you would have lost 20.7%. Okay, so that's what happens when you take a loss. That's about what you can expect. Okay. Now what's cool is literally the very next day it triggered us back into a trade. Now if you would have been upset about taking a loss or been like, oh, I was looking for a 100% strategy, you might have missed this next one. But that's how trading goes. You got to take a loss, you got to run with it, you got to roll with it, you got to move on, right? Because literally the very next day we had another entry. And from there, the stock went up almost 9%, 8.97% in the next 13 days, and you would have made 155%. Okay. All right, here's another one. Massive move here. Stock went up 10.52% in 12 days. Options went up 335%. Okay, this is not just like something that happens, once in a blue moon. It happens about 13 times a year, and it's been responsible for making millions of dollars for profits for our community members. It's been very, very exciting time for us Apple traders. Okay, so sometimes we actually go on huge winning streaks. Each of these shaded regions highlights a win. And in this one, we had recently 6 winners in a row. Okay. So what's possible when you use Wall Street AO strategies? I'm just going to kind of hang here for a second, answer some questions. But we have some really, really cool case studies with some of our members at Wall Street AO of some of the money they've made. It's just been absolutely incredible. This guy made 100 grand in June. This is literally just a couple of months ago. His account was up 185% in 2020 here at BrewMike. This guy made 250% on his Apple trades. And these are taken directly from our chat room from our members. It's been pretty cool. Okay. Do you ever have Amazon and Shop and Google? Yep, we got some good ones for those too. What specific stock do you trade? We're talking about Apple. What was the MACD numbers? 12.26.9 is the default. For Apple, I like to use 20.26.9. Thomas asks, does the strategy work for put trades if you buy puts? It does, but here's the thing that you need to understand if you're going to trade like Apple to the short side. One of the reasons I like the MACD for this is because the MACD helps you eliminate false starts, but it also gives you a little bit of direction bias, right? When the MACD is bullish, generally the stock's trending up, and that's why it works. Like you want to trade with the trend. And so if you wanted to use this strategy to buy call options when the stock was in a downtrend, you'd be taking a counter trend trade. And the results of that is just not that great. Okay. Similarly, if you tried to buy puts during an uptrend, just because we got a red bar, you're still taking a counter trend trade. Actually, I'm going to show you something really quickly because I think this is important. Let's do this here. Everybody should see my screen here in just a sec. I'm going to do another screen share because this brings up a really good point, and I hope everybody can see my screen here. All right, check this out. I'm going to do something here for you. I'm going to bring up my strategy. All right. This is just your basic, 8-day strategy. Good batting average, good risk reward, very profitable. Here's the case. When the MACD is bullish, you've got a great, beautiful batting average, 68%. I love that. What I'm going to do for you, I'm going to demonstrate something for you. Here's what happens. Okay. Here's what happens if we take this trade when the MACD is bearish. Which means we're going to try and buy a bullish payday cycle when the MACD is bearish. Look at my batting average. It dropped to 28%. And I actually would have lost money if I tried to trade this. I would have lost some coin over the last few years. Okay. So what this is illustrating is if you try and take a counter trend trade, you're going to win every once in a while, like 3 times out of 10, but you're not going to make money over time. You're going to keep losing money and losing money and losing money because you're not trading with the trend. You're using a strategy that is literally designed from the beginning to fail. And this is why backtesting is so important, because you know what? People are out there taking this trade and they just don't know that the stats are lousy. And it's not their fault. They just haven't been exposed to the tool yet here at Wall Street AO to show them that data. And once you have the data, then you're like, oh my gosh, like, why would I take that trade? And I'd say, I don't know. Why would you take the trade, right? I hope you don't take the trade. I hope you wait until you got a better setup, right? So that's what we're all about. We want to take the high probabilities trade. What that might mean, though, is might mean that you're sitting on your hands every once in a while. It might mean that you don't take a trade for a few weeks or a month because you're waiting for that high probability trade, right? All right. Let's see. What part of the MACD are you watching? I'm just watching the two lines crossing. Pretty simple. All right. All right, cool. So let's continue to jam. If I missed your questions, apologize. We'll have a more Q&A time here at the end. What's possible when you use Wall Street AO strategy? This is Marco. He's a really good member at Wall Street AO. The thing is, when he started with Wall Street AO, he was basically a break-even trader, is what we call him. His goal when he joined Wall Street AO was he wanted more consistency. He didn't say he was like trying to make a ton of money, although that ended up happening. What he wanted was more consistency. His problem was that his account was flat for many years in a row, and he was actually pretty cool. He sent me a screenshot of his account, and you could see he'd make $5,000, he'd lose 10. He'd make $5,000, he'd lose 3. He'd make 10, he'd lose 10. And then he highlighted for me that red arrow, basically literally the day he joined Wall Street AO and started using the Payday Cycle strategy. So here's what happened when he switched to Payday Cycle method. He made over 120 grand in 2 weeks trading Apple and Alibaba cycles. He created more consistency in his trading, finally had a positive profitability curve. He went on to have a 6-figure session just trading Tesla. He bought a Tesla in cash with his Tesla profits, did the same thing in Amazon. It was pretty, he didn't buy an Amazon car, obviously, but had a 6-figure Amazon trade. Pretty cool. Here's Lisa. Lisa is also a really great member now of Wall Street AO. And she only trades stock, by the way. Lisa's a stay-at-home mom from California. Her goal was to make money while working part-time from home. When she joined, she struggled finding good entries and exits, and the reality is she really had zero knowledge of technical analysis when she first joined. However, by creating a routine using the Payday Cycle and MACD, her first year, percent batting average, and she grew her account from 100 grand to 320 grand. Lisa's become one of our best traders. Here's what she says. Before entering a trade, I always refer to my Payday Cycle charts inside of Wall Street IO. Okay. Ongoingly, Lisa has continued to crush, and I believe that she's had 6-figure trading years every year. She sent me this text. From time to time, our really great members do get my cell phone number. She says, I hope I had a great time in Big Sur with my family. She said she made $30,000 in 6 days. Pretty incredible here. Again, another nice text from Lisa, 22,000 in profits booked in 1 day. Sometimes I'm so overcome with gratitude, I must just say thank you again. Positively impacted me and my family's life. I got to come down and take you out for dinner. Okay. By the way, I haven't had the full chance to introduce myself yet. This is me. Sometimes I'm a goofball. Sometimes I'm serious, but I'm always serious when it comes to my money. Okay. This is my beautiful daughter, Jules. Her twin brother is not in this picture, but I have twin 5-year-olds, Jules and Kelvin. If anybody out there is into science, you totally get it. Jules and Kelvin, yes, they were scientists, and yes, I thought that was a perfect name for our twins. I'm the CEO of Wall Street AO, and the thing is, when I first started trading, I was lousy. I lost money. I'd make money. I didn't really make that much money for the first year or so, and then super late at night, looking through my charts, 1 in the morning, about to give up, and I found the Heikin-Ashi chart, and literally a light bulb went off, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I think that there's something here. And I was right, there is something there, but we need to combine it with a couple other indicators to probability stack. And since then, things have been off to the races for me. So if I can give you a few golden tips today, here's what they are. You got to use defined buy and sell rules. And I'm sure Steven and everybody else would 100% agree with that. You got to have defined buy and sell rules. You got to have a plan. Okay? I think you should be a specialist, not a generalist. Here's what that means. Just drinking some water. There's a ton of stocks out there, right? Ton of stocks. Apple just happens to cycle really well, and it's very liquid. The reality is you don't need a million stocks. You don't need to have 20 open positions. You don't need to trade small and trade often, which is the slogan of a broker, right? And I almost feel like it was a big marketing meeting that the brokers got together and they're like, how do we get everybody to trade more so we can collect more in commissions? And they said, well, let's teach them that they need to have a big watch list of stocks and spend all day charting and be placing trades all day long and be adjusting them all the time and diversifying to all these positions. And that's a quick end for a lot of people because they just don't have the skills yet to manage that. And sure, if you've been trading for 20 or 30 years, no problem. 20, 30 positions, no problem. But for a lot of people, if you're not profitable yet, consider just trading one stock. You don't need this huge, massive thing. So I was on the phone recently with a friend. I'm like, what are you trading? He's like, I'm trading corn. Oh, what did you trade last week? I traded corn last week. What are you trading next week? Trading corn. What did you trade last year? Traded corn last year. Here's the thing. Professional traders and floor traders and former floor traders are specialists. I was chatting. I did a great interview with a friend, Ted. He was a former Goldman Sachs employee, former floor trader, and he traded 2 stocks on the floor. 2 stocks. That's it. You have so many advantages to that. So many advantages to being a specialist. Anyways, that's my 1-2 on being a specialist. Okay. And by the way, that's probably the single biggest thing, the single biggest transformational moment that people go through when they join Wall Street AO generally is they trade a lot less, but they actually make a lot more money. Okay. You got to trade by the numbers. What that means is you got to know your risk reward, your batting average. If you're going to trade a strategy, how many days does it generally last? How much movement can you expect from it? These are things you got to know before you trade it. And if you're going to swing trade, got to use payday cycles. They're already happening anyways. You might as well use them. Okay. Pre-COVID, used to get flown around the country. This is me in Phoenix. This is me at the Tasty Trade Studios in Chicago. Super nice guy there, Mr. Tom. Lots of you probably know who he is. Really, really good guy. And this is the Wall Street AO platform. I've been showing you just a peek of it today. I want to give you just an insane offer to get started for $7 today, and I've also got an incredible options masterclass I'm going to give you for free. I just kind of spoiled the offer here, but we'll post a link to that in just a moment. I want to walk you through what you're going to get with Wall Street AO. Okay, our platform really is 3 platforms in one. We've got a full software suite, which you started to see today, a full-blown educational platform, and a whole social network all built into our ecosystem. With Wall Street AO platform, you're going to get our crowdsourced playbook so you can discover the top performing strategies our members find. Okay, this is the whole discover feature I mentioned earlier. You're going to get instant strategy validation for stocks and options using our backtesting, and email alerts, get notified on autopilot, never miss a trade, so that you can follow a strategy, right? And you'll get an email notification for when that strategy starts and ends. I gave you my strategies here. In fact, on our community, pinned at the top is a strategy doc that gives away our best strategies. You simply click them, you follow them, and you're ready to rock. Okay, including that really good one from Apple, by the way. For education, you're going to get some training included in your education that tells you and shares with you how to get started on our platform. We have daily live interactive training. I'm hosting a session every Monday for an hour. I'm actually out of town. Coincidentally, this Monday, I'm out of the state actually. But we have daily day trading. We've got breakout shows. We've got strategy shows. We've got Q&As all week long. I think you're going to be super impressed with how much you get here from a training perspective. It's all inclusive, whether you're just getting started or you're a seasoned trader. I mean, we have quants. We have former Goldman Sachs employees. We have hedge fund managers managing $100 million. Yes, like $100 million or more using our platform. We also have people who just started trading yesterday, trading $1,000 account. Okay, so it's all inclusive for everybody. And from a community perspective, we actually started out as a social network before we even had all these fancy tools. Okay, you're going to connect with like-minded individuals, and you've probably all heard of this, but you become like the 5 people that you spend the most time with, so please choose carefully. Right? You're going to get to bounce ideas and theories off the community and get great responses from intelligent people. New friends, countless amount of new friends have been formed in our community as well. So here's the story. 7 days of membership for only $7. You're also going to get 75% off my Payday Cycle Masterclass, which I can highlight here for you in just a minute. Go to wallstreet.io/option7. I believe they should be posting the link up here to that for you in just a minute. And you can get signed up. I'd highly recommend using this link because I've got some really cool bonuses I'm going to give you with that, which is the first one is you're going to get our new options masterclass included free. This is regularly a $200 course, a lot more than that in value, of course, but we're going to hook you up for free. Okay. All right. Wall Studio Discover Engine, backtesting software, community, day trading and live trading education, on-demand education, autopilot trading notifications, and tons of webinar bonuses. Okay. So let me see if I can get that link for you. Not sure if I can pull it from the slide. There we go. Okay, cool. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. We've got some cool bonuses for you. Bonus number one, and this one's really kind of near and dear to my heart because here's what I know. I know that everybody here is in a different situation. I know that everybody here has a different amount of experience, a different account size, different goals. Some people might want to be growing their account. Some people might be looking for income. And so what we're giving to the first 10 people right now who sign up is you're going to get a fast track action call up to about 30 minutes to get a walkthrough tailored just for you of our platform. And we found that people who take this fast track action call get about 3 to 4 times the value of our platform immediately. Okay, so I would highly recommend clicking there and getting signed up. When you first log in and sign up, you'll see a question mark icon at the bottom left. You click that, and then you click Get One-on-One Demo on the bottom left of your website. And I'll show you here in just a minute, but you'll see a little calendar widget. Book it right away because they fill up really fast, and you're just going to be amazed at how much value you get from this bonus here. Okay, you're going to get our new options masterclass, which I shared with you already. Okay, it's going to be automatically delivered to you in the university. Okay, so you just go to the university, it's right there waiting for you. You're going to get unlimited stock and option backtesting for life with no limits, but you must have an active membership. Okay, so we're not going to limit your testing while your membership is there. All right. For everybody to help you get started, I've basically gone through our Discover tool and I found my favorite strategies. I put them together in a doc for you, and it's sitting at the top of the community, pinned. You simply click the doc and you're ready to go. Question came up for how much is the cost after 7 days. I'm going to cover that for you in just a moment. Okay. So again, 7 days of membership for only $7 plus 75% off my Payday Cycle Masterclass. I'll walk you through that in a moment. So when you sign up right now, on the thank you page, it's going to say, you know, would you like the Payday Cycle Masterclass 75% off? The appropriate answer there is heck yes, I do, because it's an incredible course. I'll walk you through it in a moment. It's only like $47 or $49. Almost everybody in our community's taken it. It's literally changed the lives of a lot of our community members. Okay. All right. So Wall Studio Discover tool, backtesting tool, community, 20 live shows a month. I think we're actually up to more than that now. Wall Studio University, you get autopilot trading notifications, one-on-one fast track call, and a bunch of cool case studies, which I think you'll love. All right, so questions. How much is data? So we have a ton of stock and option data, and is there a limit? The answer to that is data is included free. I pay the data for you. There's no extra add-ons for data. Do I have to download anything? Does it work on a Mac or a PC? So the cool part is we're a web app, which means you can just access it via a browser. We recommend Chrome. We're a very snappy, fast website, incredibly fast backtesting. You need a fast browser. We recommend using Chrome. Firefox, Safari will work fine as well, but Chrome's going to be give you the best performance. There's nothing to download. It works on a Mac or a PC. It works on your phone. It works on your iPad. What's the membership renewal rate? So I'm going to hop back over to our charts. Whoops, I think I need to screen share first before I do that. So let's do that. Screen monitor 1. All right. Everybody should see my screen here in just a hot moment. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about membership here for a minute. And I think I mentioned earlier, like, we're all about transparency. So I'm literally just going to go to our pricing page that anybody can see when you go to our homepage. Okay, you just go to our homepage, Wall Street AO, you click on pricing, this is what you're going to see. So there's no gotcha moments, there's no hidden things, it's literally the public pricing. Okay, but you're going to obviously get special pricing today because you're going to get your first 7 days for only $7, and we're giving you a ton of bonuses that you won't get if you sign up here, like the course and everything. So after the first 7 days, or let me just start, is there's no contracts. You could cancel at any time. Uh, if you cancel within the first 7 days, it's only $7. After the 7 days, if you don't cancel, it's $140 a month. And that's all inclusive, by the way. That's like all of our stuff. We do from time to time have like mentorships and things like that, and courses that we offer. But the $140 gives you our community, our back testing, our strategy emails, basically everything we highlighted today. Now, in full transparency, almost half of our community, and we have like we have a really big community. I think it's about 40% of our members are actually on annual membership, which is right here. It's $960. It saves you 40%. Now, there's two big reasons people do that. One is obvious. It's 40% off. It's a crazy cheap membership. It's only $960. The other reason is a lot of people actually upgrade to annual within a few days because they love the website, they see the value, and they're starting to make money from it. So you can actually upgrade to annual right within the website, which is pretty cool. You simply click on the marketplace, and from there, you click the button. You'll get a little pop-up to confirm, done deal, upgrade to annual. Pretty simple stuff, right? So that's how much our pricing is after membership. I hope I answered that question. Let's go back here. All right, how much is membership? That's the membership renewal rate. All right, what else we got? Questions and answers. All right, let's go ahead and take some more questions. All right, question. Ask me anything, All right. By the way, if you just signed up, go ahead and give me a quick shout out here in the chat. I'd love to just acknowledge you real quick. I also need to count down these 10 spots because I have a feeling they're going to go pretty quick. Let's see. Oh, you know what I didn't show you? I'm sorry. Let me go back to screen share. Yeah, monitor. How are we doing on time? Okay, we got about 5 minutes or so left. All right, here's something I wanted to show you. Payday Cycle Masterclass. This is important because I think everybody who signs up should take the masterclass. It's 75% off. That discount is only applied when you first sign up. On the thank you page, you'll see that, okay? Here is all of our shows, by the way. Like I said, we have shows all throughout the week. This one's mine, my swing trading show. We got a day trading show, income trading show. Like we have amazing contributors. Other places would call them gurus, but I don't like using that word, that help our members. And here it is, the Payday Cycle Master. Here's the options course, by the way, you'll get for free. It's right here, under University, under Options. Here's the Payday Cycle Masterclass. Okay, it's a 6-module course, Payday Cycle Basics. This is going to get you up to speed really quickly on Heikin Ashi candles. Lesson number 2 is one of my favorites. It covers the 2 most important things I think in trading is understanding direction and momentum. If you know what direction the stock's going and you know the momentum of it, is it accelerating or decelerating, then you're gold. Lesson 2 here is going to cover that, so you can understand bullish and bearish acceleration and deceleration of momentum. It also covers my favorite trade setup, the doji. You're going to learn more about probability stacking, and I'm going to give you my confirmation checklist. You're going to learn my success framework. You're going to learn how to rate your trade, because here's the thing. Not all trades are created equal. Some of them have too much risk. Some of them have more risk. Some of them have less risk. Sometimes you'll have an A trade, and sometimes you'll have a B or a C trade. You got to understand how to rate your trade. Okay, and then the lesson 6 here shows you how to match the correct option strategy to the correct payday cycle. Okay, so this is my payday cycle playbook. Okay, it's not free, but it's 75% off. Might as well be free. It's changed the life of a lot of people. Almost everybody in our community has taken it. Okay, and while I'm here, I will say that our community has grown a lot over the last many years. Our live trade room, by the way, got so popular, we had to break it up into 6, now 7 live trade rooms that are all just as popular. Pretty active community here, helping everybody out. So let me go back to slides. Okay, let me see here. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have 7 people who have already signed up. That's awesome. We got 3 spots left on the. I had a feeling they're going to go fast, so thank you. BR says problem signing up. Oh no. I hope it's okay to put my support email. What I would do is there's a little question mark, a little chat thing on the bottom right of the sign up page. You can click that and get a hold of customer support. I hope it's cool. I hope it's cool. I'm going to go ahead and do it. But here's our customer support. If you have any problem signing up, email our customer support. They're amazing. Okay, and they'll help you get started out. All right. And because I want to make sure you get those bonuses. Nick says, we make the trades on our own platform using your Heikin charts. That is correct. You'll still use your own broker. I use Robinhood from my phone. Right? It's pretty simple. I also do it because from time to time I'll do like a butterfly on Apple. It's a little more advanced, but I'll do like a 50 by 100 by 50 Apple butterfly, and that would be like $200 or $300 to open and close, and another couple $100 to close. That'd be like $400 or $500 in commissions. But I don't pay commissions on them because I trade with Robinhood, which is cool. Question: you're only taking 10 people. Actually, what we're doing is only for the one-on-one walkthrough. We've only got spots for 10, and I'll have to check in with my team to see if we could open it up for more if a lot more people want through. Last time I checked, we had 7 people, up 8 people. We got 2 spots left. So to answer your question, more than 10 people can sign up right now, but we only had 10 spots for the extra bonus, okay? AJ says, very interesting because of family situation. I can't do it until the fall. Don't worry, we'll be around. We'll be around. Signed up for the masterclass, Bert. You got it, buddy. Jay says, signed up for the thing. Didn't see the fast track offer. Okay, so go to the left at the very bottom. There'll be a question mark icon. Click that, and the menu will pop up and say, here, let me show you again. I want to make sure everybody gets this. This is really important, okay? I think I've just got a few minutes left. This has been great, really great community here. All right, so here's what you're going to do. When you're in the website, click on the question mark icon here. Okay, I'm just kind of waiting for this to load here, sorry. All right. I'm just reloading my page here for a second. Okay. All right, click the question mark icon here. You're going to see a menu. On the menu from this question mark icon, click Get One-on-One Demo. Okay. From here, you're going to see a calendar pop up. Okay. From the calendar, you'll be able to book your time. All right. It looks like the last took the last few spots, so the next remaining spots are Thursday, Friday next week. And here's the thing. That's obviously more than a week, right? So here's what I'm going to do. And this is how we roll, right? If you sign up right now, go ahead and book a time for Thursday or Friday of next week. And I realize it's past your 7 days. Message support immediately. And you can do that by clicking question mark icon, click contact us, and it'll pop up a little support. You can also just email us, right? And say, hey, I just signed up with Mike at the webinar. There's no open one-on-ones within my 7 days. Give me an extra 2 days for free. You know what? I'll make sure our support takes care of you. Because look, we're here to help you, right? We want to make sure you get the help you need. And I'm clear that your one-on-one demo is going to accelerate everything that you're up to. So I really want to make sure you get it, okay? Even if it means I give you a couple of days for free. Like, my goal here is to make sure you get the help you need, okay? So that's what I'm going to do for you today, because it looks like those one-on-ones fill up pretty darn fast, okay? So let me actually come back here. Is that cool? Is that cool? All right. Let's see. All right, and masterclass, got it. Marshall says, I missed the start. Do you buy in the first green candle or in the next? Buy at the close of the first green one, sell in the close of the first red one, but use the MACD as confirmation. I believe they're going to send out the replay, so you'll be good to go with that, okay? Right on. Cool, cool, cool. All right, they just posted the link up again. What's the website again? Thank you, Becky. That's awesome. All right, Waleed says, I already booked my demo. So cool. All right, very, very cool. Questions. It looks like we have still, we got 1 spot left, I believe. So if you're on the fence, like, come and grab it. This is the deal. Let's see. Steve says, with this strategy, how many strikes away do you sell puts to help finance your call options? I would go at least a few strikes out of the money, but you can backtest it. Okay. Becky, oh, cool. A link to tonight's recording tomorrow. That's awesome. Thank you. Cool. Questions? You got my brain here for a minute. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? How do you message support? If you're not logged in, there should be a little pop-up at the bottom right, like a little chat queue. You click that, and you'll be able to chat with support. If you're logged in and you're in the chart, click the question mark icon at the bottom left, and then you'll get a menu, and one of the menu items says Contact Support, and it'll pop up your chat. We have great one-on-one support. It's 6 o'clock. They might not be here tonight anymore because technically they went home at 5, and normally we don't do these this late at night. But 100% first thing in the morning you'll be responded to. We've got incredible support. We've got a really great support team. You could also, once you sign up, by the way, you're going to get an email with like getting started tips. You could also just hit reply to the email. It goes to the same support team. Cool. Yeah, Mike, the last 30 minutes of the day. That's it. So here's the deal. All of our back testing is routed to the closing price of the day. So technically, the closer you get to the closing price, the closer you'll follow our strategy results. Now, from time to time, I'll actually get in the beginning of the day, but it's going to be based off of generally my doji strategy, which is taught in the Payday Cycle Masterclass Lesson 2. And that's really the only time I think it's good to get in the beginning of the day. Okay? All right. Very good questions. Question, I don't understand $140 a month. How do I sign up for $80 a year? Okay, so it's the pricing is $140 a month. If you buy the annual, it's $960. And that basically breaks down to $80 a month, but you actually pay up front. You pay $960 up front. And had you paid over the year, it would have been $80 a year. That's what that means. I hope that makes sense now. Sorry if that was confusing. But it's $960, you pay up front for it, and we give you a huge discount, 40% off. Okay. Yeah, Thomas, what's the win rate if you buy puts on the first red candle when the MACD is bearish? You could 100% backtest that in the platform. What is the support phone number? We don't currently have a phone number. Everything is done inside the app through chat support, which, by the way, our chat support is incredible. We have 2 people on support basically all day long. We've got over 1,000 members, by the way, like way over 1,000 members. It's a very, very, very busy, in a very good way, social network, and lots of smart people to help you out. Okay, thank you, Becky. All right. All right, so I am going to be wrapping up here in just a minute. I think I pretty much answered everybody's questions. Huge shout out to Steven and Becky and everybody here who helped me get on. Big shout out to the Candlestick Forum community. Y'all rock stars in my book. I hope you learned something today. Hey, in fact, what's the biggest highlight that you learned today? Go ahead and let me know. Is it payday cycles? Is it probability stacking? I didn't even have a chance to cover seasonality, but maybe in a future webinar I'll cover how I also use seasonality as a third thing. VG says, I assume we choose monthly or yearly after the 7-day period. Also, can annual be chosen after month? Yeah, so it's $7 for 7 days. If you cancel within the 7 days, you only pay $7. If you don't cancel, it automatically rolls you into monthly membership, which is $140. If you upgrade to annual, like let's say after 7 days, you're billed for $140 automatically. 3 days later, you're like, dang, I really wanted the annual, I just forgot. Email our support, and they'll prorate it for you. Okay, so they'll do like $960 less $140, less the 3 days or whatever it is. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Like our support's really cool. They're gonna help you out. That's what they're there for. Okay. WB says biggest highlight was examples of using the Heikinashi. That Heikinashi works since scary. Vic says, so if the MACD doesn't confirm till say the 3rd green candle, can you still enter the trade You can actually test that separately in the back tester by saying instead of buying on the first green one, buy on any of the green ones. Sometimes that'll work. I don't believe that the results are going to be as good. And the reason why is because you're getting in a little bit late. Okay. FT says, where do I sign up for the one-on-one? Once you're in the platform, click on the question mark icon at the bottom left and click on get one-on-one demo, and you'll be all set up. Okay. Yep. Question, AJ says, is Hikanashi available on Tradestation? I'm not going to be able to answer that. I never use Tradestation. I do know that Hikanashi is going to be available in some other places, but here's the thing. You will not be able to backtest it, and you'll not know if it works or not on the stock you're trading, and I think that's a big miss. Part of why I built Wall Street AO. I don't believe it's a good idea to load up indicators on your chart and not know how they work. If they work, sorry. All right. Cool. From time to time, yeah, absolutely use moving averages on the chart. All right. Can I sign up for the stock and option trade packages? Yeah, you could do that. Just email our support. We'll help you out. All right. AJ says thanks. Okay, cool. Other questions? Nice. Here's what I'm going to do, everybody. It looks like we went over the 10 spots, and I know some people are going to be watching the replay. We're going to go ahead and open up our one-on-one demo for everybody who signs up today and during the replay. I just got a note from my team that we're going to do that. And if you sign up and the one-on-one demo is not available for you within your 7 days, email support, and we'll give you an extra couple days to make sure you can get that demo. So for everybody watching the replay, like later, you can still sign up and get all the bonuses. We're going to extend all the bonuses to everybody who signs up tonight and everybody who signs up during the replay, including the one-on-one. And if, like I mentioned, if there's no available one-on-ones within your 7 days, we'll give you a couple days for free, 2 or 3 days for free, whatever you need, right? Because we're here to help. That's our goal. Okay. It sounds like the replay will be available tomorrow. All right, can you show the real-time high and low, close, superimpose, and candles? You can flick back and forth, Gary, from candlestick to Hikanashi. Yep, if you just signed up, you're going to get an email with the details. Okay, cool. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. I've got 5-year-old twins at home. I got to pick up some food for them on my way home. So I'm getting a message from my partner like, hey, we got hungry kids at home. So I've got to go to daddy duty. Big thank you, everybody here. It looks like everybody loved it. Appreciate everybody letting me know what the highlights were for you today. That means a lot and kind of helps me, do a better job at what I do, trading and helping everybody. So Becky, thank you for posting that link up. Again, we're going to extend all the bonuses to everybody. Deborah says twins priceless. Appreciate it. Big thank you to Stephen Bigelow and Becky and everybody else who made this happen. Look forward to meeting everybody in the group. As a reminder, this Monday I'm actually going to be gone. I'll miss the meetup, but I'll be back next week. But thank you for being here, and thank you to the Candlestick Forum team. This is Micah Lamar, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.
Thank you very much. Very good information. Everybody, for $7, at least you can get a taste of a trading style or trading method that works very effectively. So, Micah, thank you very much. Good information. And we'll see everybody tomorrow in the chat rooms. Yep.